Holmes from Dank Wargaming. I just finished my first round here at the Sage Shoppe Open and the 1800 point tournament. And I played against the Crimson Fist and Black Templar list. It was really close at the end. The guy had a chance to beat me. I had all of my bugs all over the board, and all he had to do was hit 2 charges, get 1 more wound on my Hive Tyrant, and I actually would have lost that game about 10 or so to 5. But luckily for me, my Hive Tyrant stuck in with that 1 wound, and the 2 charges that really mattered failed, and the one that didn't made it, and I managed to pull out a win. A double-digit winner was about 3 to about 13, I think. So it was still a pretty close game. This guy's first game in a long time, so only got through 2 turns because we were having to look up rules, and I was helping him out, like, don't put a wound on the one guy that uncovers your captain, because if I kill one more guy, then your captain's open, and I'm just going to unload with my Hive Tyrant and stuff like that. And going over assault and fight phase priority, it's going, hey, if you make this guy fight first, I interrupt, I kill this squad. So just kind of hold on those CPs, and don't throw your counter offensives and things around when you could be using them for death, for dishonor, or even honor the chapter or something like that. So it was a really good game. I hope I helped out my opponent a little bit, because he's just trying to relearn how to play the game, and it was a good time. And move on. Guys, there are a lot of knights. There are a lot of tanks in this tournament. This is probably going to be my 1 win, so if you only want to see winners win, you might want to turn off the video now, because I'm just not going to make it going forward. This is me, Bailey Combs, signing off.
Yeah, that is the Skydeck I've done
Hello folks, I'm here with my round 2 opponent, Chris Ward of Why Are We Here? And he's got this awesome team shirt here. I love it.
This one is just the battle wagon,
and he has managed to maintain the relic here with a 2 wounded dude. How did you do it, Chris?
I
was able to pile in to the relic on our last turn. I got real lucky on the saves against the Gene Stealers. I underestimated how fast the Gene Stealers could move in. I thought they were in the backfield, so I thought I was safe, but they all piled in, and my dice held out, luckily, but a couple saves either way, and it could have been my loss. So I got lucky with the dice, and I was lucky with the mission, too, because it really played up to the Necron's strength to be able to sit back and shoot.
Yeah, I had forgotten how nasty it was, and when I was watching all those exploding Tesla carbines, I went, oh, I just sent the boys to the meat grinder. Which is why I liked hiding behind that magma for a few turns till it got kind of down to the nitty-gritty. So far I managed to play a full game. 2 turns round 1, 4 turns round 2. And to be fair, even if we'd gone on, those things are really nasty. Those Doomsday Arts, those things just murder all my army. So thank you, Chris, for the game. Look forward to seeing you again in the future.
Thank you, sir.
Alright folks, I'm here with Aaron. For my final round matchup, Aaron got me. He managed to get some boys back here to get my objective and secure and control, and he has defeated me. How did you manage to do that, Aaron?
A little bit of help and a little bit of luck.
Yeah, when you got the skill bit right, you had your weird boy out of denial, so you could cast a jump without getting denied. You used the advantage of the fact that you had 10 boys, give you +1. Drop these guys back here, made that 9-inch charge, didn't even have to fight twice, just cleared out my Hormigons and piled in. That's pretty good for a day's work for an orc boy. So, any other thoughts?
I'm gonna enjoy this game.
Good, I'm glad you enjoyed it. We're had a little rough start, had dock effects, I had a dock flyer right before shooting up the grots. Did you like that?
Well,
No, not very much. But once you got the chop, then you chopped through my Gene Stealers pretty ffast. They're nowhere on the board. All I got left is the one guy right there. It's the only one that survived out of the whole 20. And you chopped up the squad of Termagants in one go just a few minutes ago, and that's what you need to win. So congratulations, Aaron. Thank you very much. Hope to see you around the Indiana circuit somewhere else.
yep.
Hey folks, this is Bailey Combs here with Dankless Wargaming here in the Dankless Dungeon, which also happens to serve as my basement. And I'm here today to talk about the tournament we recently had this last weekend at the Sage Shoppe in West Lafayette. It was a pretty fun tournament for me, although I didn't do very well. I was only 1-2. But it was a casual event, and there really wasn't that much on the line. It was just sort of go hang out with some friends, get some footage, test out our new camera equipment, which I'm using now as well. And I just wanted to kind of focus on something that I noticed that came up at the event that sort of fits what we're trying to do with this project here. In my first round and my third round, I played some fairly new players to 8th edition, that one of them had played in previous editions of 40k and one had not played 40k at all until this tournament. And I wanted to kind of talk about the fact that I realized pretty quickly, based on the nature of the tournament, the size of the tournament, it was fairly large, it was 20 people, but still it's not like we were at Adepticon or anything like that, or a big GT. And I took that opportunity, instead of worrying about getting my glory points or trying to win anything, but really trying to help some of these guys get used to the way 8th edition works. And I really wanted to bring home this idea that it's not really worth it. Like, I knew where I was, especially going around through where I was 1-1. I wasn't going in to win the tournament. I wasn't going to place really all that high with all those people. There were going to be several 3-0s that were going to take home the big prizes. So instead of worrying about crushing this new player who hadn't played a lot, I wanted to help him win and show him that the game isn't just about killing things. I took a fairly swarming Tyranid list, and for these newer guys, it was kind of rough to see this big swarm when they didn't have one, and I just was like helping them worry about the missions as opposed to killing anything. And really, I could have easily gone 0-3 because I showed the guy in the first round, hey, you deep strike a guy here and a guy there, make some charges, and you take out these two objectives, and I lose by a landslide. It worked in the third round where I showed this guy, it's like, hey, take your orcs, jump them into my back line, charge my unit that's covering the objective, and slaughter them all, and you win the game. You are not out of this, even though it feels like you are. And to me, it meant a lot more to help some guys and show them how to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat than it felt for my own ego to kind of go in and crush those guys. And that's really the point of this YouTube project that we're working on here. We want people to enjoy tournament play and realize that it's not always about winning, it's about growing the hobby. I mean, I could have gone in and smashed both those guys, and they would have felt like they'd spent money on something that really wasn't worth their time, and they'd never show up, never come back. And that doesn't help the hobby at all. My grandmother has told me since she started taking me to gaming events when I was a kid, if you win all the time, no one wants to play you. I don't want to be that person. I want to be someone that people look forward to playing at tournaments, not just because they get to do an interview and be on the YouTube channel, but because they actually legitimately enjoy my company and the time we're going to spend playing a game. And that's really the intent of this project, is to show people that this is really what it's all about. And occasionally, right, you will run into someone that's not going to have a good time, you're not going to have a good time with, but that's been a minority of people in my experience, and I wanted to be that person for these two guys that I played this week, and for my middle opponent too. We had a great time, and it was a great game that came down to the last combat phase and a fight twice with Gene Stealers to try and clear some Necron Destroyers off an objective. And that's really what it's about, is those close games, and then just sort of helping guys and gals who need that experience of learning how to play the game maybe a little bit higher level than what they were used to. So from here in the Dankless dungeon, this is Bailey Combs signing off.